Well, Brent, it's a hot summer day here at Saratoga. They've been saying a big chance of thunderstorms, but so far we're all right. Very humid. We're at the oldest racetrack in the United States for the oldest major horse race in the country, the Travers Stakes. Saratoga, you know, is the summer place to be, a place where families picnic under the trees. This is Travers Day, of course, and some 50,000, actually 48,000, the third largest crowd in Travers history, have gathered for the last great race before the leaves begin to turn in upper New York State. There's the canoe in the infield. Traditionally, that is painted in the colors of last year's winner. Those are the colors of Ogden Mills Phipps, the owner of Rhythm, who won the race last year. Of course, they'll be changed right after today's contest. Well, I'm Jim McKay reporting from Saratoga, and this is the climax of a fairy tale spring and summer among the 3-year-old thoroughbreds. Fly So Free was the Kentucky Derby favorite. He came complete with a theme song provided by his music publisher owner, Tommy Valando. Remember, fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Well, the Derby fairy tale came true, but for another colt with an appropriate name, Strike the Gold. He gave way to the horse with the fairy tale name, Hansel, in the Preakness and the Belmont. But since then, the plot has thickened. Lost Mountain, who had been lost in the shuffle all spring, defeated Hansel in the Haskell at Monmouth Park, and Fly So Free returned from exile to beat Strike the Gold, the Derby winner, in the Jim Dandy here at Saratoga. And now they all come together. Fly So Free and Strike the Gold, Hansel and Lost Mountain. They'll be challenged again by the front-running Corporate Report and by an upstart from Maryland named Tong Po. Here are the conditions of the race. $1 million on the line here this afternoon. The distance, the classic 1.25 miles. The track fast, quite fast today. Temperature 86 degrees. It feels hotter with the humidity. And the odds in this short 6-horse field, Tong Po, the long shot, at 16-1. Hansel, winner of the Preakness and the Belmont, at 2-1. Fly So Free, the 2-year-old champion last year, 4-1. Corporate Report, 7-1. He'll be out in front at the early going. Strike the Gold is the favorite at 8-5, the Kentucky Derby winner and a favorite in New York. And Lost Mountain at 5-1. Charles E. Canty joins us now. And Charles E., I think a look at the odds tells us just how competitive this race is.
Well, you know, Jim, this field for the Travers really kind of reflects the whole 3-year-old division. Evenly matched, competitive, and not a clear-cut favorite in the group. How good are they? Well, Best Pal, who was beaten in the Derby and the Preakness, dominated older horses in last week's Pacific Classic. So the key to divisional honors this year is beginning to look more like consistency than brilliance. And it's never more important to do well today for Hansel, who's clinging to a slight edge in the division. He was great in the Preakness and the Belmont, and he was terrible in the Derby and the Haskell. If he's Superman today and not Clark Kent, then his best race is better than their best race.
And here is Strike the Gold, trying to become the first Kentucky Derby winner in 49 years to win the Travers. As you see, he's in different colored silks from what we've seen before, a new stable name, and a new jockey. Cordero Jr. has replaced Chris Antley for today's race. Trainer Nick Zito took Antley off the horse after he was beaten here in the Jim Dandy Stakes by Fly So Free. Zito said Antley didn't follow instructions, and then he said this.
The only thing I do know is the horse wasn't ridden the way I wanted the horse to be ridden. Now, whether he lost or not, that doesn't have anything to do with me being the trainer as of now of record. In other words, I train Strike the Gold, not Chris Antley. If I want the horse ridden a certain way and he loses, that's fine. We put the time and effort, my men and myself, in this horse. And if he gets beat, let him get beat on our instructions, okay? And I just think that Chris can tell you more about that than I did, but I don't think he rode the horse the way I want him to be ridden.
Well, now, you heard Nick, and there he is in the middle with the brophies. You heard him say, I am the trainer as of now of record. Could his job be in jeopardy? Well, you know, it's been said that nothing ruins a partnership like success, and that really seems to be the case here. The new silks and the new stable name are the results of friction between the Brophies, whom you see on the one hand, and partners Joe Cornascia and Bill Condren on the other. They usually sit together, but as you see, they are not sitting together today, not anywhere near each other. And it all started out so happily when they won the Kentucky Derby.
We might expect a change of tactics, too. Angel Cordero is going to have Strike the Gold closer regardless of the pace. Now, here's Fly So Free. Even though he defeated Strike the Gold in the Jim Dandy last time out, this 1.25 mile distance of the Travers is still a question mark, just as it was in the Kentucky Derby. So Jose Santos is going to have to really be careful rating this colt early on. He wanted to be a little rank in the Jim Dandy. Now, Jim, there's no dissension in this partnership. That's a very popular Tommy and Elizabeth Valando, the owners of Fly So Free.
Well, it's kind of interesting. They won the Kentucky Derby, and all the world was on their doorstep. But a couple of weeks later, They didn't win the Kentucky Derby. They were the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Did not win it, and immediately the doorstep was empty for quite a while. Now people are coming back. But
they handled their defeat very gracefully, gave that colt time, and here he is back at the Travers and a factor today. A colt who's also had to overcome a lot of adversity is Lost Mountain. He has had enormous amount of bad luck. He's a very talented colt, and he's finally coming to himself.
Here's Corporate Report.
Take a look at Corporate Report here. He'll be probably the pace setter today. I don't see any way they can keep him off the lead. He's been setting the pace in almost all of these races. He ran in every one of the Triple Crown races, but instead of getting a vacation when it was over, he went to California, ran in the Swap Stakes, finished a good second. Now he's back here to run again after he ran in the Haskell last week. He's tough and he's fast. Can he carry his speed 1.25 miles?
His trainer, D. Wayne Lucas, oddly, has never won the Travers, and of course he's won about everything else in the world. Here's Lost Mountain.
Well, that's what we always say when Lost Mountain runs. Here comes Lost Mountain. He comes from way off the pace. He upset Hansel in the Haskell last time out, and frankly, he could upset the whole apple cart today with a late run.
Well, you remember he was second in the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct in the spring. Then he had that terrible trip in the Kentucky Derby. So he kind of let us know that he might be a factor later on, and so he has proved to be as they approach the starting gate here.
Well,
the long shot in the field is Tong Po, up from Maryland, owned by Mrs. Robert Kenichi. Mr. Kenichi's a computer wizard. Tong Po is by private account. He's only run 5 times in his life, and his one credential really is winning the Federico Tazio Stakes in Maryland.
Well, he bucked his shins after that race, and he was given a vacation. That was on March 17th. They trained him up to the Jim Dandy 3 weeks ago here. He was beaten 10 lengths with Angel Cordero aboard. Angel, of course, took off to go to Strike the Goal. If you want a fairy tale story, here's Chris Antley aboard Tong Po. If he upsets this, that'll be a fairy tale.
No question about it. The trainer of this horse, Leon Bluzewicz, is a former longshoreman, but he's been a trainer for a long time, and historically never brings a horse to a big race out of Maryland unless he thinks he has a chance. We'll see. Final look at the odds. Tong Po at 17-1 now. Hansel 2-1. Fly So Free at 9-2. Corporate Report at 6-1. The favorite, Strike the Gold, at 8-5. And Lost Mountain also at 6-1.
We might want to watch for a few things in strategy of the race. Both Hansel and Strike the Gold are not happy to be inside of horses. Hansel's got that number 2 post position. There's speed outside him. So watch for them to try to get out.
And the track and stakes record are 2 minutes by General Assembly. It is time to go up top to the man who will call the race, Dave Johnson.
And Tong Po, who has never been the distance of 1.25 miles, gets the first spot in the gate with 25-year-old South Carolina native Chris Antley aboard. There's Hansel, the winner of the Preakness and the Belmont. Fly So Free, a question about his ability to get the distance. Jose Santos, the rider. 9-5 Hansel, 8-5 Strike the Gold. And there is Strike the Gold with his new colors. Cordero won the Travers with Chiefs Crown in 1985. And the late-running Lost Mountain with Craig Perrette, who won this race from last to first last year with Rhythm. They're all in line. All 3-year-old colts, all carrying 126 pounds, 1.25 miles. Fly So Free's acting up. They're settled again. And they're up. Corporate Report gets the early lead. Hansel toward the inside is second, and Fly So Free right off the flank of Hansel. As they pass the stands for the first time, it's Corporate Report leading it by 1.25 lengths. And now Hansel going to the outside is second, carrying Fly So Free 3 wide into the clubhouse turn. Tong Po saves ground in fourth. Lost Mountain is fifth, and Strike the Gold, the Kentucky Derby winner, at the back of the pack, sixth with Cordero, about 10.5 lengths off the leader. And as expected, Corporate Report has the lead by 1/2 length. Jerry Bailey with Hansel on the outside, stalking the leader at this point, and Fly So Free is in third position. The first quarter in a very slow 23-3. Now they straighten away for the run down the backstretch, and Corporate Report leads it by a tight length. Hansel is in the second spot by 1.25 lengths, and Fly So Free is third by 8 lengths, and then back to the second flank. Tong Po, Lost Mountain, and Strike the Gold is still sixth, but now Cordero asks for a little bit of run, and Strike the Gold begins to close on the outside. He's fifth, and now he's fourth, and going up as they move down the backstretch of the half in 47-2. It is not a fast pace. Corporate Report holding on to the lead by a 1/2 length. Now Hansel The Preakness and Belmont winner on the outside moves to challenge. Their heads apart on the front end. Corporate Report on the inside. Hansel on the outside. Fly So Free right there in third position. And Strike the Gold within striking distance is now fourth. He's only 2.5 off the leader as they move to the top of the stretch. On the outside, Hansel takes command. Corporate Report battles back. Fly So Free 3 wide. Strike the Gold in the middle of the racetrack. Lost Mountain is fifth. And down the stretch they come. Corporate Report on the inside, hanging tough. Hansel now attacks on the outside. Hansel on the outside. Corporate Report at the rail. They're stride for stride. Fly So Free is not gaining on the top two. Through the final 70 yards, it's Corporate Report on the inside. Wire-to-wire winner of the Travers. Hansel on the outside second. Fly So Free third. Then it was Strike the Gold followed by Lost Mountain and far, far back Tong Po. Final time for the 1.25 miles slow.
There you have it.
1 1/5 seconds.
The time, 2:01 1/5. 2:01 1/5, a second and a fifth off the track and stakes record. We'll be back for the official right now. Let's go to Brent Musburger. Brent, of course, our anchorman in Havana, doing a great job down there. But we will be back at the Travers. It's unofficial. Corporate Report is still the unofficial winner of the Travers Stakes. Corporate Report. It's his first stakes victory. He has been consistently finishing second through the spring and summer, but he finally broke through for trainer D. Wayne Lucas as his first win in the Travers Stakes, and for owner Bill Young, who put a lot of money in this business and has finally paid off for him. Unofficially, as you see, Hansel second, Fly So Free third, and Lost Mountain fourth. Let's go up to Dave now. Dave Johnson.
The key to victory was the ride by Chris McCarron, nursing the pace down. And as they straighten away in the stretch, he's saving ground. And this horse, who winning has not been his thing this year, he's had second-itis. He was second to the Preakness and the Swaps and the Haskell. Well, he turned the tables on the big boys this afternoon with a combination of speed and stamina. Hansel had his shot. Corporate Report was better. A reversal of the Preakness finish, where Hansel beat Corporate Report to the wire now. And the 1.25 miles Travers at Saratoga. Lucas gets his first Travers victory. McCarron gets his second. He won it in 88 with 49er. The margin of victory, a long neck. Jim?
Okay, Dave, there's a look at the photo finish. It is still unofficial, but there is no word of an objection or anything like that. I'm standing with Jeff Lucas, the assistant trainer of Corporate Report, but a man who plays a tremendous role in all of the stakes victories of the stable of his dad, D. Wayne Lucas. Congratulations, Jeff. First Travers win for the stable.
Thank you, Jim. It's a great moment. We certainly, everybody in the organization, we need to include my father, who's at Del Mar this afternoon, and I'm sure watching. I wish he was here. It's a great moment, and the horse just ran super. He responded well.
Let's bring in Chris McCarron. Chris, come on in. Maybe we can take a look at that stretch run. Boy, did you two hang tough, you and that horse.
Yeah, this colt's awful genuine, Jim, and he's just been unfortunate not to have won a big race yet. He certainly found the right day to reach down and find some more. He's fighting hard right now, and he just shows you what kind of class he's got. You know, he's been running against the best horse in the country all year, and he deserves a win like this.
Got a pretty good rider on him today, I think. You've been in 3 Travers. You've won 2 of them now. You won with 49er and again today, right? Pretty good record.
Well, thank you very much, Jim.
Okay, Chris McCarron, the winning rider. Jeff Lucas, and we're still standing by for the official. Do you have any idea what might be the problem? Seems like a long time for an official with no objection.
Well, certainly we're in the clear all the way.
They have to wait for Jerry Bailey to weigh back in.
What?
I believe they have to wait for Jerry Bailey to weigh back in.
Where is he?
Jerry hasn't returned yet. Unfortunately, I think he had to get off Hansel on the backside.
Oh, he did. Any a problem with the horse?
I didn't really notice, but I did see Jerry dismounting.
You did. It could be a bad sign for them. So, Jeff, the Lucas story goes on. Excuse me 1 minute. I think Charlesy has an interview for us right now. Charlesy?
All right, we have a first-hand report here from Jerry Bailey. What happened?
Well, it was nothing apparent in the race. I was going to Corporate Report at the 8th pole, and it's questionable whether I got in front, but I was heads up for the lead, maybe a nose in front. I thought he was going to go on by him. And he wasn't getting too tremendously tired like I thought he might. And about the time he was going to go by him, he gave up the bridle and quit trying. I was kind of wondering why. When I pulled up, he started favoring his right front foreleg, and he's in a little bit of distress. So I don't really know what exactly happened, but he hurt himself to some degree.
Because he apparently had everything kind of going his own way, and you knew there had to be a reason. First thought would be bleeding, but he came back bad.
Yeah, I couldn't have been more pleased at the 8th pole. I thought he was going to win, and for some reason, which now I know, he gave it up a little bit.
At least we have something to pin it on this time, Jerry. Sorry for the disappointment. And things have a way of happening all sorts of ways. Jim McKay.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlesy. And there is Hansel. Jeff, how does he look like he's walking to you?
He appears to be okay. He's putting good weight on all four legs. Seems to be walking into the ambulance. So it looks like it's not too serious, and hopefully he can recover to race another day. He's certainly one of our better horses in the nation, and we'd all like to see him back on the racetrack again.
Okay, let's take a look at the good prices that your horse paid today. The winner, Corporate Report, owned by Bill Young, trained by D. Wayne Lucas and Jeff Lucas, $16.60, $5.60, and $4.20. Hansel second, $4.20 and $3.80. Fly So Free paying $4.60. The Exacta of 4 and 2 paid $61.60, and the Trifecta $271. The complete order of finish coming up right now. Let's have a quick look at that. Corporate Report, Hansel, Fly So Free, Strike the Gold, Lost Mountain, and Tong Po. Thanks to Jeff Lucas and Chris McCarron. We'll be back with a report on Hansel's condition. Now again to Brent in Havana.